Stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. And if you do not master yourself, your excuses will. There is a battle happening in your life that nobody can fully see. People can see your smile. They can hear your voice. They can watch you show up, shake hands, post pictures, go to work, go to school, sit at the table, nod your head and say, "I'm fine." But they do not hear the war in your chest when the room gets quiet. They do not feel the weight of the nights when regret sits beside you, like a shadow that refuses to leave. They do not know what it feels like to look in the mirror and wonder how much longer you can keep living beneath your own potential. And that pain is real. The pain of knowing you were made for more, but somehow settling for less. The pain of starting and stopping. The pain of making promises to yourself in moments of inspiration, then breaking them in moments of weakness. The pain of wasted mornings, wasted years, wasted courage, wasted gifts. Some of you are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you have been carrying the weight of the person you could have become. That is a heavy thing to carry. It is heavy to know your talent has been waiting on your discipline. It is heavy to know your dream did not die from lack of opportunity, but from lack of consistency. It is heavy to know the door was not locked by the world. It was locked by hesitation, by distraction, by self-betrayal, by the little habits that looked harmless while they slowly stole your future. And let us tell the truth tonight. Your greatest enemy is not the critic. It is not the competition. It is not your past. It is not the people who doubted you. Your greatest enemy is the version of you that wants comfort more than growth. That version of you will always have a reason, always have an excuse, always have a story. Tomorrow, next week, when things calm down, when the money is better, when the fear goes away, when confidence shows up, when the conditions are right. But listen carefully. The conditions are never perfect for transformation. The seed does not wait for comfort before it breaks open. The bridge is not built by wishing from one side of the river. The mountain does not lower itself because you are afraid to climb. The storm does not ask whether you are ready. And the fire that forges steel does not apologize for the heat. Life is not asking whether you feel like becoming strong. Life is demanding that you become strong. This is why you must master yourself, not manage yourself, not negotiate with yourself, not occasionally motivate yourself. Master yourself. Master your thoughts before they master your actions. Master your mornings before your mornings become your excuses. Master your appetites before your appetites become your prison. Master your attention before the world scatters your power in 1,000 directions. Master your habits before your habits write a future you do not want. Because the truth is simple and severe. The life you want will demand someone stronger than the person you have been. And that should not discourage you. That should wake you up. Because if your life can be changed by your choices, then your future is not a sentence. It is a construction site, brick by brick, day by day, choice by choice. Some people keep waiting for a breakthrough while they keep avoiding the build. But breakthroughs are often just invisible bricks stacked with ruthless patience. One workout nobody applauded. One chapter read when nobody was watching. One temptation resisted in silence. One early morning honored. One difficult conversation handled with maturity. One more promise kept to yourself. That is how a person changes. Not in one glorious leap, but in 1,000 private decisions. And yes, that is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It will not always make a great story in the middle of it, but it will make a great life at the end of it. You do not need another fantasy. You need a structure. You need a standard. You need a code. You need discipline. Discipline is the core principle. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you respect. Discipline is the language self-respect speaks in daily life. Discipline is remembering what you want most when you are tempted by what you want now. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It protects your future from your moods. It protects your purpose from your impulses. It protects your dignity from your weakness. It protects your dream from the part of you that would trade a destiny for a distraction. Discipline is a form of love, not soft love, strong love, sacred love, the kind of love that says, I will not let myself rot in what is easy, the kind of love that says, I deserve better than my lowest habits. The kind of love that says, I will be kind to myself, but I will not be casual with my potential. That is the shift. You must stop seeing discipline as a cage. It is not a cage. It is a set of wings. The undisciplined person thinks freedom means doing whatever they feel, but that kind of freedom is often another word for drift. Drift into debt, drift into addiction, drift into mediocrity, drift into regret, drift into becoming old before ever becoming who you were meant to be. Real freedom is different. Real freedom is being able to trust yourself. Real freedom is having a mind that obeys your values instead of your cravings. Real freedom is being able to say no. No to the impulse. No to the distraction. No to the weakness. No to the easy lie. No to the habit that keeps pulling you backward. Because every time you say no to what diminishes you, you say yes to what is trying to be born in you. And maybe that is where the wound is. Maybe you have said yes to the wrong things for too long. Yes to people who drained your spirit. Yes to routines that made you weaker. Yes to entertainment that numbed your mind. Yes to comforts that cost you your edge. Yes to the voice that said, you can do it later. Later has buried more dreams than failure ever did. Later is a thief with polite manners. Later smiles. Later sounds reasonable. Later never fights you with violence. It robs you with delay, and every delayed act of courage teaches fear that it is in charge. So hear this clearly. You do not need to feel ready. You need to become obedient to what you know is right. There's a difference between emotion and command. Emotion changes with the weather. Command stays. Emotion says, I do not feel like it. Command says, do it anyway. Emotion says, this is hard. Command says, and that is exactly why it will change you. Emotion says, maybe tomorrow. Command says, now. Now is where power lives, not yesterday. That is gone, not someday. That is a mirage. Now. This breath, this decision, this moment, do not underestimate what one honest moment can do. One honest moment can end years of denial. One honest moment can make you put the bottle down. One honest moment can make you shut the screen off. One honest moment can make you get out of bed when the old version of you begs for one more hour of surrender. One honest moment can begin the revolution. And revolutions do not always start in crowds. Sometimes they start in private, in a dark room, at a kitchen table, on a morning run, in a journal, in a whispered prayer, in a trembling decision that says, I cannot keep living like this. That sentence can save a life, because the truth is, many people are not destroyed in one catastrophic event. They are eroded, slowly, quietly, like a river wearing down stone. A little compromise here, a little laziness there, a little resentment left unchecked, a little envy fed in silence, a little dishonesty rationalized, a little indiscipline repeated until it becomes identity. And then one day they look up and ask, how did I get here? You got here one permission at a time. And if you got here one permission at a time, you can leave here one decision at a time. That is hope. Hope is not pretending the pain is small. Hope is knowing the pain does not have the final word. Hope is not magic. Hope is responsibility with its sleeves rolled up. Hope says, yes, I made mistakes, but I am not made of my mistakes. Hope says, yes, I lost time, but I still have today. Hope says, yes, I have been weak, but weakness practiced can be replaced by strength practiced. Hope says, my story is not over because I am still breathing. As long as there is breath in your body, there is still material for greatness. But greatness will not come to a divided person. A divided person says one thing and does another. A divided person dreams big and acts small. A divided person wants the crown but resists the training. A divided person craves the harvest but neglects the seed. You must become integrated, aligned, whole. Your words and your actions must shake hands. Your vision and your habits must become partners. Your values and your calendar must finally tell the same story. That is mastery. Mastery is not perfection. Let us be very clear. Mastery is not never stumbling. It is refusing to surrender your direction when you do. Mastery is not the absence of temptation. It is the presence of authority. Mastery is not a life without storms. It is becoming the kind of person who can carry calm into the storm. You may still feel fear. You may still feel doubt. You may still hear old voices from old rooms and old seasons telling you that you are not enough. But you do not have to kneel to every voice you hear. Not every thought deserves a throne. Not every feeling deserves a steering wheel. Not every urge deserves your obedience. You are not called to obey your chaos. You are called to govern it. This is why disciplined people become powerful, not because they are superhuman, but because they stop living at the mercy of everything temporary. Temporary moods, temporary pleasures, temporary distractions, temporary applause, temporary comfort. They give up what glitters for what lasts. That is sacrifice. And sacrifice is not losing something valuable. It is giving up something lower for something higher. You sacrifice sleep to build a dream. You sacrifice pride to learn. You sacrifice ego to apologize. You sacrifice ease to become capable. You sacrifice distraction to gain depth. You sacrifice the cheap thrill so you can keep the expensive promise. Every meaningful life is built on sacred sacrifices. The athlete knows it. The artist knows it. The leader knows it. The parent knows it. The builder knows it. Nothing strong is built by accident. The mountain is climbed one painful step at a time. The bridge stands because someone laid support beneath it before anybody admired the view. The fire becomes useful when it is contained, directed, disciplined. The seed becomes a forest only after long buried seasons where nobody sees growth. The brick becomes a cathedral only because hands kept placing it long before the beauty was visible. Do you understand what this means for your life? It means the invisible matters. It means the unseen work counts. It means the lonely season is not empty. It means silence is not failure. It means the repetition is not meaningless. It means your daily discipline is not boring. It is holy, because every day you are either carving weakness deeper or building strength thicker. There is no neutral. There is only construction or decay, only planting or neglect, only training or drifting, only becoming or betraying. That sounds intense because it is. Life is not a rehearsal. And if you keep treating your days like disposable scraps, do not be surprised when your years feel empty. The days are the years in disguise. So let us make this practical. What do you do if you truly want to master yourself? You start with the morning. Wake up when you said you would wake up. No debate, no drama, no endless bargain with the snooze button. When the alarm sounds, let that be your first victory. Why? Because the way you begin the day teaches your mind who is in charge. Then move your body. Walk, run, stretch, lift, train. Not because you are chasing an image, but because a strong body teaches the spirit about effort. A neglected body often becomes a comfortable home for a neglected mind. Then guard your first thoughts. Do not begin your morning by handing your attention to chaos. Do not let strangers on a screen set the emotional temperature of your soul. Sit in silence. Pray if you pray. Breathe deeply. Read something that makes you wiser. Write down the truth you need to remember. Write down the work you must do. Write down who you intend to be today. Then keep one promise before noon. Just one. The call you have been avoiding. The page you need to write. The room you need to clean. The application you need to send. The workout you need to finish. The apology you need to make. The budget you need to face. One promise kept early can change the chemistry of your day. Then practice deliberate discomfort. Do one thing every day that your weaker self would rather avoid. That is training. Take the cold walk. Have the honest conversation. Finish the last set. Put the phone away. Study when you are bored. Save money when you want to spend. Stay calm when you want to explode. Discipline grows by resistance. A muscle is not built by ease. Character is not built by convenience. Then reduce the noise. Not everything deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Not every open door leads to a worthy room. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing less with more power. A scattered life feels busy but produces little. A focused life may look simple, but it moves mountains. Choose your essential work. Choose your essential values. Choose your essential relationships, and let the rest lose its grip. Then end the day with review, not denial. Ask yourself, where was I strong? Where was I weak? What triggered me? What drained me? What helped me? What must change tomorrow? Do not condemn yourself. Study yourself. A person who can study themselves without lying is already becoming dangerous in the best way. Because once you see clearly, you can act deliberately. And let me say this to the person carrying shame. Shame will try to convince you that because you have failed repeatedly, you are disqualified from discipline. That is a lie. The fact that you failed before does not mean you are incapable. It means you were untrained, maybe wounded, maybe distracted, maybe surrounded by the wrong influences. maybe at war with yourself in ways nobody understood. But listen, your history can explain you without excusing you forever. There comes a point when you must stop introducing yourself through your wounds. Yes, honor the pain. Yes, face the truth. Yes, seek help where help is needed. Yes, heal what must be healed. But do not build a permanent home inside your broken season. You are allowed to recover. You are allowed to rebuild. You are allowed to become unrecognizable to the habits that once owned you. And that process begins with self-respect. Self-respect is not loud. It does not need to brag. It does not need to announce itself. Self-respect is quiet. It is the way you speak to yourself when nobody hears. It is the standard you keep when nobody would catch you lowering it. It is the food you refuse to keep feeding your mind. It is the environment you stop tolerating. It is the line you finally draw. It is the moment you decide, I will no longer live in a way that makes me despise my own reflection. That sentence matters, because when you begin to respect yourself, discipline stops feeling like slavery and starts feeling like alignment. You no longer ask, do I have to? You begin asking, does the person I am becoming do this? That question can clean your life. Does the person I am becoming stay up feeding emptiness? Does the person I am becoming lie to avoid discomfort? Does the person I am becoming waste money to impress people who do not care? Does the person I am becoming keep abandoning hard things at the first sign of resistance? Does the person I am becoming keep speaking like a victim while praying for authority? No. Then let your behavior catch up to your vision. And understand this, mastering yourself is not only about what you stop, it is also about what you build. Build patience, build clarity, build competence, build humility, build emotional control, build financial responsibility, build physical strength, build spiritual depth, build the ability to communicate with honesty and grace, build the habit of finishing, build the reputation with yourself that when you say you will do something, it gets done. That reputation is priceless. The world may applaud you and still not know you, but you know you. You know whether you are becoming solid or staying soft. You know whether your confidence is rooted in evidence or inflated by fantasy. You know whether your words have weight or whether they evaporate the moment difficulty arrives. So build evidence. Do not merely think positively, act truthfully. Do not merely visualize greatness. Practice greatness in miniature. Do not merely say you believe in yourself. Give yourself proof. Confidence is not built by slogans. It is built by kept commitments. You become believable to yourself when you do what you said you would do, again and again and again. Small wins are not small. They are votes. Votes for your future identity. Votes for your discipline. Votes for your self-respect. Votes for your freedom. And enough votes create a verdict. One day you wake up and realize the old cravings no longer command you like they used to. The old fears still whisper, but they no longer rule. The old distractions still exist, but they no longer own your attention. The old version of you still remembers how to quit, but the new version of you has learned how to continue. That is a beautiful day, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you become reliable. Reliable to your mission, reliable to your family, reliable to your promise, reliable to your future. And when a person becomes reliable, the world begins to open in new ways. Opportunity trusts reliability. Responsibility seeks reliability. Leadership requires reliability. Peace grows inside reliability. Because peace is not only rest, peace is the absence of war between what you know and what you do. Imagine living like that. Imagine laying your head down at night, not because everything is perfect, but because you know you showed up with honesty. You trained, you focused, you resisted what needed resisting, you moved what needed moving, you handled your business, you honored your values, you kept faith with your own becoming. That kind of sleep is earned. That kind of peace is powerful. And if you do that long enough, the results become undeniable. Your body changes, your mind sharpens, your standards rise, your circle changes, your work improves, your finances stabilize, your emotions steady, your voice gains weight, your eyes carry conviction. People will call it transformation. But what they are really seeing is repeated self-government. That is what mastery looks like. It is not flashy every day. It is not dramatic every hour. Sometimes it looks like drinking water instead of poison. Sometimes it looks like going home instead of chasing trouble. Sometimes it looks like studying when others scroll. Sometimes it looks like sitting in silence until your mind stops running wild. Sometimes it looks like saying, "No, I will not speak from anger." Sometimes it looks like saying, "Yes, I will start before I feel ready." Do not despise the ordinary forms of greatness. The ordinary done consistently becomes extraordinary. And I want to speak now to the person who feels late. You think you ruined too much. You think you waited too long. You think too many chances have passed. You think your bad habits are too rooted, your mind too tired, your spirit too damaged. But a field that has been neglected can still be planted. A bridge can still be rebuilt. A river can change its course over time. Fire can purify what it once threatened to destroy. And mountains are climbed by those who stop staring at the summit and start respecting the next step. You are not too late for the next step. Maybe you are not called to fix your whole life tonight. Maybe you are called to command this next hour, then the next, then the next. That is enough. That is how empires are built inside human souls. One governed hour becomes one governed day. One governed day becomes one governed week. One governed week becomes one governed month. One governed month becomes one governed year. And one governed year can make you nearly unrecognizable. People want dramatic secrets. But the secret is this: rule your hours and your life will stop ruling you. There will still be hard days, days when grief visits, days when fear returns, days when fatigue sits on your shoulders like stone, days when old patterns tap on the door, days when progress feels invisible, days when you wonder whether the effort matters. On those days, remember this: you are not doing this because it is easy. You are doing this because you are no longer available for a lesser life. Say that again in your spirit. I am no longer available for a lesser life, not because I am arrogant, because I am responsible, not because I think I am better than others, because I know I must become better than I have been, not because the road will be painless, because the pain of discipline is lighter than the pain of regret. Regret is heavy. Regret grows heavier with time. Regret echoes. Regret lingers in rooms long after opportunity leaves. But disciplined pain is different. It burns, yes. It stretches you, yes. It demands sacrifice, yes. But it leaves behind strength. It leaves behind clarity. It leaves behind dignity. It leaves behind a life you can respect. So choose your pain. The pain of staying the same, or the pain of becoming more, the pain of surrender, or the pain of self-command, the pain of excuses, or the pain of effort. One pain empties you, the other pain enlarges you. And if nobody else has told you this, let it be said now with full conviction. There is more in you than your current life is showing. More courage, more discipline, more wisdom, more endurance, more restraint, more fire, more focus, more love, more leadership, more capacity to rebuild than your fear has allowed you to believe. But it will not be accessed by wishing. It will be accessed by demand. Demand more from yourself, not with hatred, with honor. Demand that your mornings mean something. Demand that your words carry consequence. Demand that your habits support your future. Demand that your environment reflect your standards. Demand that your body become an ally. Demand that your mind tell the truth. Demand that your days stop leaking into waste. And when you fail, because at times you will, do not turn a stumble into an identity. Correct quickly, return immediately, learn deeply, move forward. A disciplined person is not the one who never slips. It is the one who refuses to stay down in the mud talking philosophy about why the ground is unfair. Get up, wipe your face, adjust your methods, and continue. Continue when nobody claps. Continue when the scale does not move. Continue when the money is slow. Continue when the healing is not dramatic. Continue when the loneliness visits. Continue when the work feels repetitive. Continue when the old life seduces you with its easy language. Continue, because consistency is the drumbeat of destiny. And one day what now feels heavy will become natural. What now feels forced will become identity. What now feels impossible will become standard. That is the reward, not just achieving something. Becoming someone who can carry success without being destroyed by it, becoming someone who can face adversity without collapsing, becoming someone who can be trusted with influence, with love, with leadership, with opportunity, becoming someone who does not need constant rescue from their own undisciplined decisions. That is power, not power over others, power over self. And the person who has power over self becomes very hard to stop, Because what can the world do with someone who has learned patience? What can distraction do with someone who has learned focus? What can temptation do with someone who has learned restraint? What can failure do with someone who has learned to rise? What can fear do with someone who has learned obedience to purpose? Not much. The world can delay you. It cannot define you. The storm can hit you. It cannot own your direction. The mountain can challenge you. It cannot climb itself for you, but it also cannot stop a soul that keeps stepping. So stand up inside yourself. Gather the scattered pieces. Call your spirit back from every place you abandoned it. Call your attention back. Call your standards back. Call your courage back. Call your future back and begin. Begin before you feel majestic. Begin before you feel healed. Begin before the doubts go silent. Begin before the audience appears. Begin before you know the whole road. Begin with the next right act. Drink the water, make the bed, take the walk, read the pages, make the call, do the work, tell the truth, keep the promise, turn off the noise, save the money, lift the weight, speak with respect, stand by your values, go to sleep with intention, wake up and do it again and again and again and again. This is how you build a life that cannot be easily shaken. This is how you become a person who can carry pressure without panic. This is how you stop being ruled by every appetite and impulse. This is how you turn pain into fuel, regret into instruction, fear into training, and time into substance. Master yourself, not for vanity, for freedom, not for applause, for peace, not to look powerful, to become powerful where it matters most, inside. So tonight, make the decision. No more drifting. No more cheap negotiations with your calling. No more bowing to the habits that have been stealing your name. No more speaking like a prisoner when the key has been in your daily choices all along. Take your life back. Take your hour back. Take your focus back. Take your body back. Take your standards back. Take your mind back. And if the road is hard, good. Hard roads build strong travelers. If the climb is steep, good. Mountains reveal who is serious. If the fire is hot, good. Fire can forge what comfort never could. If the storm is loud, good. Let it teach you how solid you can become. You were not born to remain divided. You were not born to be dragged around by every mood. You were not born to live and die with your greatness still trapped inside your excuses. You were born to build, to rise, to govern, to become. So from this moment on, let discipline be your declaration. Let consistency be your evidence. Let sacrifice be your offering. Let self-respect be your foundation. Let action be your answer. And when the world asks what changed you, let your life reply, I stopped waiting to be saved. I learned to command myself. Master yourself until nothing can stop you. And when you do, you will discover that the strongest force you were ever searching for was already waiting within you.